Hello my angels and devils and all who may wander here. I'm Amanda Christina, this is Heavenly Imaginings, and today I am pleased to introduce to you the Enchanted Dreams collaboration with the amazing Poetspice. Now, Enchanted Dreams can encompass fairy tales, mermaids, dragons, stargazing, anything across that whole enchanted, magical, mystical realm. So today, I know this has been a popular request on my channel, we are going to do the loaded bag with matching envelope. This is from the Party Like a Mermaid treat bags from Spotlight. You can do these with any treat bags. We're going to do one as an envelope and one as a loaded bag. Now, anyone who's been around my channel for a while, excuse the crinkling, knows that I do my loaded bags a little differently. So we're going to keep this one for our envelope and we're going to use this one for our loaded bag. So first thing you're going to do is take your trimmer. All you need is some glue, some scissors and some sticky tape and a little bit of patience. Now, I don't put this through the trimmer. What I normally do is I usually just take this and snip along the bottom. Now, don't throw out this bottom piece because if you've got any nesting dies with the, I should have bought bigger scissors with me, with the small tiny dies in them, these will make really nice little what am I trying? Tags. They'll make nice little tags. You can use these offcuts, so don't throw those away. Very handy to have. So now you have your little bag. Now I'm just going to trim this just to give it a little bit more of a nice evenness. So just running it through the trimmer, pushing down nice and hard, just to give that. Now, what I'm going to do is I usually halve it-ish. Usually give it about half. I'm just going to come in a bit under half. So I'm just going to put a couple of marks roughly where I want to trim this and line this up in my trimmer. Knowing me, I'm probably doing this uneven. Now, if you want an angular, you can turn this, like cut it off, cut your pieces off and then turn them at an angle. I just wanted to... Okay, so that's one pocket. Then what I do is I usually trim a little bit off the bottom to make my second pocket, and I did do something wrong, which I'll explain to you in a minute, which is normally what I will go through before I do this, and it's probably better I didn't in my trimmer, is I will grab my double-sided tape and come through the big long piece, but it is actually easier to not do this all at once. Now, what I do is I pick a side and I come through onto this flap bit. So I put tape on one side of each of those. Now what this does is, because I like to send things as flat mail, it means things don't fall out as easily, and also it also means that you're not going to have to kind of stuff it as much, which if you're someone who likes doing really big things and wants to send this as more than flat mail, that's fine. But the idea of this one is definitely it is flat mail. So what we're going to do is also add some tape here and some here, and then we're going to repeat that process on the other two pieces. Now what this does, as I said, is it gives you less room to work with, but it also gives you, it makes it easy. It really does make this, I find this step is a little bit of a pain in the butt at times, but it will give you, and you can see how it could have, well actually no, it is a bit easier to do it when it's already cut apart for you, I will admit that. But it is something that I have noticed for me means that, one, I don't have to try and fill quite as much space, but also two, it just allows for things to fit in a bit snugger. If you have a lot to fit in, that's one thing, but also in these smaller pieces, you're not necessarily going to want to have the huge amounts, and then we're just going to do these ones the same. And because this is a little smaller, we're just going to go that way. Now, also these ones have a clear coat, like a plastic coating, and I cannot see it for the life of me. Here it is. So I am probably going to end up using, coming back in after I've done this tutorial, just for quickness sake, we'll be using the Helmar clear craft glue, but I will go back through with some glossy, just because glossy will stay stuck down, whereas the Helmar won't. It does come undone, and in terms of wanting this to be something that you can send, you don't want things falling out. Apologise if you hear my neighbours talking, they just... I pick my times to film videos some days, I think. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to now take all your tape off. And this will give you a really nice base to work with that means you're not trying to overfill it. Like, it's great to get a really stuffed bag, but when you're trying to send something flat mail, and in Australia we can send up to, I think it's 250 grams for the cost of one stamp. So basically for $1 within Australia or $3 overseas, it might be a little bit more than that now. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if this is, yep, I am just going to take this and now run it along this bottom edge, just very small amount. This probably won't set fast enough for the tutorial, but I would rather do this properly. You just want a really fine amount, because basically you're just creating a pocket. So this is like, okay, what I'm going to do is just snip off these little excess bits of tape, which I normally would stick down as I go, but I didn't see them. So we do that. So that is your first pocket. And as you can see, well, yep, as you can see, that's not stuck down yet. But you've still got a nice amount of room. You just haven't got a crazy huge amount of room, which I find hard to fill. I won't lie, like, unless, because I don't buy a lot for loaded bags and things, I make everything. I find it very hard to fill one when there is a lot to put in them. So we're just doing this for this one, and I will use the craft glue for the bottom. Actually no, this one I'm not going to put a bottom on it, and I'll explain that because I didn't usually, yeah. So if you want this to come up a little bit, just to give yourself that little bit of extra room, and then this one's going to be your one you come over your bottom. So basically you'll get that little bit of extra room to put things down in here, like down at the bottom as well. So I'll just do these. And I haven't done anything to fill these with. This is just literally the bare bones tutorial. So you get to fill them how you want, how your imagination is. I love this. I stocked up on these bags because I just think it's such a lovely idea to be able to do a bag with a matching envelope. And it's so simple. Like, once you've done one, it is a lot easier to be able to sit there and go, oh, okay. And you can do these in little batches. They're quite easy to do when you're doing them in little batches. I find they're quite easy to do. Okay, so I'm just going to use the craft glue because that's a little bit quicker. I think that's all. Yeah, and neither of these sticks super well. So if you've got some super fine, super strong tape or another glue that you really like working with, it's just these ones have a little bit of plastic in them, and that's sort of the issue here. I do get them to stick after a while. I probably could do some hot glue in these. I just haven't set up my hot glue gun yet. Okay, so we're just going to go through and do all three of these at the very base, just a little bit of glue. You just want a super fine amount because, oh, and I wasn't going to do this one, but I did, so, oh well, you don't have to do this one. This one you don't have to put glue in, but if you do, or you do it by accident like I just did, there's nothing wrong with that. It's all good. It's about what you want to do and about what your needs are. I usually do 3 pockets. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want to do them all 3 at the front, you can also do this pocket as your pocket at the back. So if you don't want to do them all as front pockets, and I sometimes don't, so I'm going to... Oh, because this is why. Okay, I remember now. Which way do I like this better? I think that way. So what you can do is if you want to add another sort of faux pocket in, you just go around the edge of 3 sides of your little step pocket bit that you've made, and that will give you another tuck spot here. So you've got 1, 2 here, and then at the back you can do the same, although I tend to only do 1 at the back just because I find we'll do 2. That way you've got the extra room if you need it. This is just really up to you. It's easily customizable, easily sorted to what you want. I sent one of these to Miss Eddie Blue and she absolutely loved it. She yeah, so that is your basics. So that's your basic loaded pocket. Now we're going to do our envelope. And as you can see, it doesn't look like this is going to fit properly, but give us a minute. Okay, so now we're just going to chop the bottom of this off. Again, keep your bottom piece. You can cut that into tags or die cut it into shapes. There's a lot you can do with that. I should have, as I said, I should have brought bigger scissors out with me because it's easier to cut this with bigger scissors. It's a little bit awkward cutting this bit, but once you get this bit cut off, we can trim it up to make it just that little bit neater. So these bits can all be used for die cuts, tags and things. So that's very handy. Now we're just going to tidy up the bottom of our bag. And what you have to do is choose which side you would like as your front. Now this bag came with 2 different designs, which is one thing I really, really love about it, is that it came with 2 different designs, which gave me the sort of luxury of being able to have a front and a back. However, not all bags do that, so you can do these out of the same bag. Now what we're going to do is we are going to pop, now you can pop both sides of this out depending on how much room you want. I like the both sides popped out because I think you get a really nice looking thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little glue across the bottom of this. Again, I would probably actually, I think what I will do, because this tape is super, super strong, where'd I put my scissors, is I'm going to chop. Normally I would have the right size tape out here, but I think I am out of the super strong in this size, and I'm just going to cut this into little strips. And so by popping out these side pieces, so is how you're going to get your nice envelope. And the good thing is you can put your return address and stuff on these sides. So you want to make sure you're hitting the very edge of the inside of your envelope. So that it hits edge to edge, because you want to be able to make sure everything stays inside it. I did one of these, the first one of these I actually did was for Michelle Stratford, for she had a challenge and I actually entered her challenge, and this is what I sent her, because I get the loaded bags, I get them really well stuffed and that, but honestly, when you're on a budget and stuff like that, you just don't always have the money to do these huge things. And also postage, international postage is a beat. Like, to spend $16 to send a loaded bag, which quite often, whilst it might contain a lot, doesn't always, you know, isn't always super heavy, is a lot. So I like to try and maximize the value I can send in a $3 envelope. Anyone who knows me knows that even the dollar envelopes I send out from Australia, I have a reputation for sending what people call TARDIS envelopes. So if you only wanted to add enough for that to fit in like that, you don't have to do both your sides. You could do it like that. So you could have it like that. I'm opening both out because I actually like the look of having it balanced on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take these little bits of tape off. this bottom bit down the way we liked it. As I said, this is really up to you. Like, you can do it with these bits flat each side, so you could, but as I said, I like it where you get both pieces because I think that looks really pretty. So you get both pieces there, and you've got plenty of room to add this and to add more. Like, that's the thing. And if you wanted to, with your little loaded pocket, you can also, I mean, you could do, as I said, you could do that and only have the one side, which will give you plenty. I just like the balance. So you can put this in something else. You can put some extra clips on it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to pick a side to be our front, and we're going to pick a side to be our back. So the side we're going to pick to be our back, we are going to cut down about 1 inch or 2, just a bit, and then I'm just going to fold this down. Okay, I probably cut that a bit bigger than I wanted to. Again, do not throw these pieces out because you can use them to make tags and other things, and why not use every bit you can of these sorts of wonderful treasures. This one's a little bit bland here, like it's not very blue or anything, but like these side pieces are really cute. Then what you're going to do is, all I usually do is just come in a little bit at the side, and a little bit at the side to give you your envelope flap, which gives you your piece to write on, and then you've got your envelope. So you've got a matching, you've got an envelope and a loaded bag, all made from the gusseted favour bags. And these came in packs of 6, I think, for a couple of dollars from Spotlight. They're not the cheapest bags, but they're so pretty, and I did stock up so that I could use them kind of sparingly. But that is it. That is the simple tutorial for my loaded bag and matching envelope from Treat Bags. If you've got matching bags, you just do them the same. Again, as I said, you can make this smaller. If you don't want it this size, you just simply don't untuck that piece and you end up with this, or yeah, there's just so many variations you can do with these. Nice and simple and quick. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know below. Also, make sure you do check out Poetspice and all the other ladies in this collab. I did say this year I was going to try and take on less. However, Enchanted Dreams, I couldn't say no to. I had to do it, and I had these sitting there, like this tutorial, and I just thought, you know what, this tutorial is so perfect for this theme, so that's it. So let me know below if you're going to try this. If you have any questions about how I did it, if something wasn't unclear, please do let me know. And as always, please remember to excuse me, check out all the other ladies, and please do remember, you are amazing, you are incredible, and yes, you truly do matter. Bye all!